What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Elder Scrolls Lore, and today we're going to be talking about who is going to be the next High King or Queen of Skyrim. Now, before we start, I'd like to thank Music for Meditation for allowing me to use this music, and with that, we begin. So, the way I'm going to start this is I'm going to be doing the Stormcloaks and then the Imperial scenario, because obviously there's two separate chances of winners in the Civil War, and they all have different Jarls, or at least half different Jarls. So I'm going to analyze all the Jarls from weakest candidates to the strongest candidates of becoming the next High King or Queen. Now, some might say this is obvious, that it's going to be it's Elisif if it's the Empire, or it's Ulfric if it's the Stormcloaks. Some of you might be surprised when you actually analyze these Jarls that might not be what you think. But with that, let's get started. So first we have Jarl Elisif of Solitude. Let's face it, no. In this scenario with the Stormcloaks, no. But next we have Jarl Skuld, the Elder of Dawnstar. He's an elderly, grumpy man who does not have his own people's support. Most either desire the neutrality or support the more reasonable Brianna Marilis. Now, he strongly supports Ulfric, and this would lead me to believe that he will not run against Ulfric as High King because of his fact that he supports Ulfric and Ulfric's cause, not just one or the other. So, I don't think he'll be have a high chance of becoming the next High King. Next, we have Jarl Career of Winterhold, and honestly, he is not going to be the next High King. Winterhold is a ruin, and basically, even Ulfric will comment why General Tullius is wasting his troops trying to take Winterhold because there's nothing there. That being said, Jarl Career will most likely not be the next High King. And granted, we don't know too much about him, but he will most likely not be it. Next, we have Jarl Sorley, the Builder of Morthal, and she is actually more of a neutral Jarl. She leans to the Stormcloaks, obviously, because she'll become Jarl of Morthal if the Stormcloaks take control. If no other suitable candidate is available, I think she has a high chance of becoming a Jarl. But that being said, there are other Jarls that hold a lot more weight than she does. She doesn't seem to carry too much influence around, and also doesn't seem to be too eager to be the next High Queen. She is actually quite proud of becoming the next Jarl of Morthal. But that being said, I don't think she'll be the next High Queen of Skyrim either. Now we have Jarl Layla, Lawgiver of Riften, and she is the most ignorant, or the dumbest on this list. Layla is quite oblivious to the crime and corruption in Riften. Henceforth, she will most likely not be the next High Queen because of the fact that she's really oblivious to the things that go on in her own city. She thinks Maven Blackbriar is a model citizen. This alone will prove her incapability of ruling Skyrim. If she thinks some of the most corrupted and I don't know what other word I would use, corrupted and ruthless characters of Skyrim are model citizens, I doubt that she'll view the same otherwise. I just don't think that makes a good combination for a good ruler. I mean, maybe if there are it's kind of like Sorley, if there are no other suitable candidates running to be the next High King or Queen, maybe she'll get some support in there. But granted, on her personality of being kind of oblivious to this kind of stuff, I don't think that she'll become the next High Queen. Granted, she does doubt Jarl Ulfric's motives and thinks they're kind of selfish, and this is where we're going to start drifting in towards the less supportive Jarls that support Ulfric. And now, what I mean by that is they will support Ulfric's cause, but they do not support his motives and Ulfric himself. So they kind of see Ulfric as a corrupted person who wants power. That's what I mean by that. But they do support his cause nevertheless, or else they wouldn't be the Stormcloak Jarls. Now, we'll move on from there. Next we have Jarl Thongvar Silverblood of Markarth. Could he be the next High King? Yes, he has every capability of doing so. He has the determination, the grit, the wealth, the noble family. He could easily reign in support for many of the other Jarls in Skyrim. However, will he though? Most likely not. He is one of those that is a true believer in Ulfric's Stormcloak and the Stormcloak Rebellion. He doesn't just believe in the cause. So most likely he will not become the next High King, as I don't think he will run against Ulfric Stormcloak himself. And if he does, I think he'll be a puppet king if he becomes the next High King. That being said, next we're going to go to Jarl Dengir of Stoon of Falkreath. Now, he was originally Jarl before he was pressed pressured to step down by the Empire. Honestly, he is a serious candidate in becoming the next High King, and he would most likely do right by Skyrim, seeking to focus on Skyrim itself. He views Ulfric as selfish and power hungry, and he realizes that his intentions might not exactly be true, but he recognizes that Ulfric is something he is familiar with and would rather deal with Ulfric than the Empire. Now, he could easily gain support from all the other Jarls in Skyrim, with the exception of maybe a few like Skald or Courier of the Winterhold, but I find it unlikely he would run against Ulfric, considering how much of a supporter he actually is. Next, we have Dengir of Stoon of Falkreath. Now, Dengir was originally Jarl before he was pressured by the Empire to step down. Honestly, he is a serious candidate for becoming the next High King and will most likely do right by Skyrim, focusing on Skyrim itself. He views Ulfric as selfish and power hungry, but recognizes his cause as just. He could easily gain support from the other Jarls across Skyrim. However, the only thing that deters me from actually electing him would be his age and no suitable heirs. Now, Dengir obviously is a Skyrim first kind of attitude, has a Skyrim first kind of attitude. However, he doesn't have an heir, and I think this would discourage many from actually electing him to be the next High King. Now we're down to the final two, and this is where I'm gonna basically have the two major candidates for the Stormcloak High Kings. First, we have Jarl Vignar Greymane of Whiterun. Out of all the Jarls listed so far, he is most likely to wear the Jagged Crown. He is from a noble family and was a decorated Imperial commander in the Legion, serving for 30 years and in the Great War. He is a member of the Companions, and his influence and fame could really rally all the Jarls to vote for him. But once again, age could play a key factor, and he might not get the position he might seek. However, there is also another thing. Ulfric put him in power. So would Ulfric use this to blackmail him into voting for Ulfric? Potentially. I don't think the Greymane family would take that, and if he tried to, I think Vignar would definitely try to go against Ulfric. But overall, I think that Vignar Greymane would be the best suitable candidate for being High King. Lastly, we have Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak of Windhelm. Now, the second of the real major candidates for becoming Jarls for the High King for the Stormcloak side. He is already an experienced commander, serving in the Legion and in the Great War, and now the Civil War. He holds the undying support of at least Markarth and Dawnstar, and he is young and plans to take the fight to the High Elves, which would really rally most to his side, considering that's why they had the rebellion in the first place. That being said, he is also young. Being young means you do have heirs secured, right? Now, granted, with Vignar, he does have heirs secured, which is also a solid reason to vote for him, but he's older. And I don't know if people want to elect a High King that's going to die relatively soon. I think they would want a young leader that'll be able to carry Skyrim on further on. Now, what's the final ruling and consensus? Honestly, it was really tough. But in the end, I did go with Ulfric would be crowned High King. And it's purely for the fact that he is young. Being young was the key. He's young, experienced, and charismatic. He rallied the Nords when it was needed most and banished the Empire from Skyrim. And in a way, he rallied half of Skyrim to support him in his cause. And then again, he also put the other Jarls in power, at least half of the Jarls in power, including Vignar Greymane and Dengir of Stoon, sorry. But if he could use that leverage against them and make them vote for him. Now, the one thing that kind of deters me away from Ulfric is the fact that he does not have a wife or a lover that we know of. But then again, like I said, he is young and he can always find that and marry and have kids and make a suitable dynasty to come up and last. And that is the main reason I actually picked Ulfric, is because of the fact that he is young. If Vignar was a bit younger, I would definitely go with Vignar as becoming the next High King for the Stormcloaks. But purely because of the fact that he is not, I'm going with Ulfric. So now we're going to go into the Imperial candidates. Now, if you notice a change in tone in my voice early on, it's because I'm trying to accommodate people sleeping in my house, so I hope you guys understand and enjoy. But next we have Jarl Idgrad Ravencrone of Morthal. Now she believes the Empire is what is best for Morthal. Her ambitions seem limited to the city though, and the hold, and not much else. So I'm going to say her chances of becoming High Queen are very limited. Next we have Jarl Igmund of Markarth, and he severed all ties with Ulfric after the Dominion threatened war with the Reach. He is a strong Imperial ally and supporter. Although a strong Jarl, he has no obvious ambitions of becoming High King. Jarl Siggeir of Falkreath. He is very lazy, but he does support the Imperial Legion. He is also corrupt, and he is not likely to become the next High King. Next we have Jarl Maven Blackbriar of Riften. She is cunning and ruthless. Honestly, no. I don't think she has any chance of becoming High Queen, purely because of the fact I don't think any of the Jarls would support her due to her known corruption and ruthlessness of being just a bad person. So I don't think she would ever get enough support to become the next High Queen. Next we have Jarl Kralder of Winterhold. Although he is a noble, Winterhold's last noble, most likely, Winterhold is still weak and it's currently focused on rebuilding the city, so he's not likely to become anything. Next we have Jarl Brina Marilis of Dawnstar. She takes the dragon threat very seriously, unlike Skald. She's a retired legionnaire and is a renowned leader. Many go to her instead of Jarl Skald when they're under the Stormcloak rule. She's a minor candidate as High Queen. She's clever, she's cunning, and she has the support of her people in Dawnstar. Now this is where we're going to get into the major candidates. Unlike the last Stormcloak videos, this is a bit more quick because the other Jarls don't seem to have as much support behind them as, like, obviously Siggeir is not going to get as much support as some of the other Jarls. So a lot of the Jarls on the Imperial side are a lot smaller and don't have high chances. However, there are a few that have significant chances of becoming the next High King or Queen. So the next three are in no particular order. Alright, actually they are in a particular order. We have two major candidates and then one minor. So first we have Jarl Brunwulf Freewinter of Windhelm. Now this might catch a few by surprise, but he is known for standing up for the Dunmer and Argonian residents of the city, and he was a former legionnaire. He plans to assimilate the Argonians into Windhelm and renovate the Grey Quarter. His tolerance and ideology would make him an ideal, capable domestic ruler. Combine this with his leadership and combat experience from the Great War, and I believe he is one of the major candidates. Now this idea of focusing on the individual is something that Skyrim does need. However, this could really slow the process of government down, and that would be a big flaw. However, focusing on the individual would make Skyrim itself more diverse and make it feel more like an imperial province. Granted, it could really slow the process down, like I said. Next we have Jarl Bolgrif the Greater of Whiterun. His duty to Whiterun directed him to the Empire. He is a Legion veteran and a true Nord. He convinced many would-be Stormcloaks that the Empire could solve Skyrim's problems. His cooperation and natural leadership makes him an ideal major candidate. Now, as I said, Jarl Bolgrif is a true Nord, and he's revered by both Stormcloaks and Imperials. Now, he is a serious candidate for being the next High King. His cooperation with the Empire really does make him a very strong leader, and he does have heirs. He's young, and he has that charisma that really rallies people to his side. But nevertheless, we have one person left, and that is Jarl Elisif the Fair of Solitude, and this is what everyone thinks the obvious imperial candidate is. Now, becoming Jarl of Solitude after High King Torig's death, she is the only imperial Jarl seeking the throne of Skyrim. Now, she supports the Empire but this hinders her claim. It lowers her ability to effectively rule without imperial influence. She's young, she's naive, she doesn't have any heirs. She really lacks the ability to work alone without any imperial advisors. All her decisions are made with General Tullius there, or General Tullius making those decisions, and I think that really does hinder her ability to rule and govern. Does she have a chance to improve? Yes, but I think that this imperial influence really makes her a lower candidate, because it is the Jarls that elect the High King of Skyrim, not the Empire. Yes, you can have some imperial influence, but nevertheless, it is the Jarls that pick it, not the Empire. What is my ruling on the Empire? I was stuck between two again. It was between Bolgruf and Brunwulf. They are both capable rulers, leaders, and if needed be, warriors. While Bolgruf would put Skyrim first, Brunwulf would put the individuals first, and the inhabitants first. While Bolgruf put Skyrim first, it could cause many to suffer. In contrast, Brunwulf's focus on the individuals could cause a slow governing process and rebuilding of Skyrim. Ultimately, though, I'd have to choose Bolgruf. Bolgruf has a strong hatred for the Thalmor, and this will be needed in the eventual Second Great War with the Aldmeri Dominion. Some may suffer, but many will prosper. His reputation of a true Nord could convince former Stormcloaks to seek amnesty for Skyrim's sake as well, and they would fight alongside them in the next Great War. Now, the reason I bring up the Thalmor hatred is because the Empire, if they had an influence in the moot, I think they would lean towards Bolgruf for the fact that he is that natural leader. He is young, he does have heirs, he is a capable warrior, and Elisif doesn't have any of this, or has yet to prove it. All she has is her undying allegiance to the Empire, while Bolgruf has all of this and an allegiance to the Empire. That being said, I think that hatred for the Thalmor would make him a natural leader for the next Great War, if there is going to be one, which we all know there has to be, but I think in the end, Jarl Bolgruf would be the capable ruler of Skyrim and the next High King in the Imperial scenario. So there we have it. We have on the Stormcloak side Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak becoming the next High King of Skyrim, and in the Imperial side we have Jarl Bolgruf the Greater becoming the High King. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree with me or disagree with me? Do you agree on my decisions on some of the Jarls? Do you think some of the Jarls deserved a better chance, or or some of them deserved not as much attention? Please let me know in the comments below. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below as well. And if you guys have any more of these hypothetical videos you'd like to hear, or some of these speculation videos, please let me know too. I really like making these, and this is one of the few that I was able to think of, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, please like and subscribe, and remember to join my Discord chat. I'll see you guys around. That's all I got. Peace. Seriously, why are you still here? I'm kidding. I'll see you guys around. Peace.